Hey there! I got this book called Going Up, Elisha Otis's Trip to the Top, written by Monica Colling and illustrated by David Parkins. It's a story about how Mr. Otis invented the modern safety elevator. Today I'll read it to you. I hope you enjoy it. Let's begin. The book starts with a poem called Elevator Etiquette. Don't jab the button again and again. You wait for an elevator like you wait for a train. Turn your headphones down. Don't whistle or hum. There are more weird rules where these came from. This is the quiet room that climbs to the top. You choose the floor, and that's where I'll stop. It was haying time on the farm in Vermont. Wagons brought the bales in from the field. Then ropes and pulleys lifted them up into the loft of the barn. Going up, shouted Elisha, waving from below. It was 1818, and Elisha Otis was 7. He loved watching farm machines at work. The hay hoist was the most fun of all. The ropes broke often, and when they did, snap! The hay came tumbling down. Elisha left the farm when he was 19. His health was poor, so he found an easier job as a wagon driver in Troy, New York. Elisha hauled goods between Troy and Brattleboro, Vermont, for 5 years. He saved every penny he could, even though he now had a wife and a son to support. One day, Elisha said to his wife, Susan, I need a change. I'm going into business for myself. The Otis family moved to Green River, New York, where Elisha bought some land. There, he built a grist mill, a building with an enormous stone in it. The stone ground grain or grist into flour, but the business went bust, and Elisha's wife became ill. When Susan died, Elisha was left with 2 sons, Charles and Norton. He decided to try his luck in Albany, New York, but before moving, he married again. Betsy became a good mother to the boys. By 1845, Elisha was working in a bed frame factory where they made wooden bed rails by hand. One evening at home, Elisha sat tapping a pencil on his notebook. A machine could make a bed rail more quickly, he mumbled. All of a sudden, Elisha had an idea. He began to draw. Betsy could almost see the light bulb over her husband's head. Elisha showed his boss his idea. I call it a rail turner, he said. It can make a rail as quick as a tick. Elisha's machine made bed rails 4 times faster than by hand. The boss was thrilled. Bonus time, he exclaimed. Elisha took the $500 and guess what? He moved again, this time to a city called Yonkers on the majestic Hudson River. In Yonkers, Elisha got work overseeing the construction of a new bed frame factory in 1852. Heavy machinery from the ground floor had to be moved to the 2nd floor. Elisha didn't trust the hoisting platform. If the cable broke, it wouldn't be hay tumbling down, it would be machinery parts. People might get hurt. Elisha thought a safety brake could work, but how? He made drawing after drawing. Then he built a working model. Elisha attached the safety brake to the hoisting platform in the factory. Workers loaded the platform with heavy iron and lead machinery parts. The brake would catch when the cable went slack and stop the platform from hitting the ground. Going up, shouted Elisha. When the platform was at the top, he yelled, Let it fall! The workers looked at one another. Surely that platform was going to come crashing down. The platform started to fall. Suddenly, it stopped in midair. The brake worked. Everyone was astounded. Elijah had finally found work he loved. He would make safety brakes for hoisting platforms. He also decided he liked where he was living, Yonkers. No more moving for the Otis family. One night in 1853, Elisha sat bolt upright in bed. His nightcap was askew. "We'll lift people," he shouted. "Lift people? Where?" mumbled a sleepy Betsy. "We lift machine parts. Why not people?" said Elisha. "Lift people where?" Betsy repeated. "Why, to the sky, of course. To the sky." At breakfast the next morning, Elijah was still excited. "I'm going to build people hoisting machines," he announced. "My elevators will be safe." "Wonderful!" exclaimed Betsy. Charles and Norton, who were now teenagers, agreed. So Elijah built people hoisting elevators with his safety brake attached, but his business didn't get off the ground. People were simply not interested in being hoisted to the sky. They were afraid of falling like a ton of bricks. And who could blame them? "Forget about going up 3 floors on one of those elevators," they said. "We won't go up any." Eventually, Elijah sold 1 or 2 of his elevators, but they were used for lifting freight, not people. No one trusted Elijah's invention. One day, Charles and Norton came home with exciting news. "The fair is in town." Thinking about the New York World's Fair lifted the whole family's spirits. Elijah would show his elevator to the world. In the glass-built Crystal Palace, Elijah stood on his elevator's platform. He wasn't alone. The platform was weighed down with wooden barrels, boxes of nuts and bolts, and iron machine parts. A crowd slowly gathered below the wooden structure. People craned their necks to see Elijah high above them. The crowd grew hushed. An assistant raised a gleaming saber and cut the cable. The elevator fell a few inches. The crowd gasped. Elijah must be out of his mind, they thought. The elevator came to a dead stop. Elijah was perfectly safe. The crowd was amazed. Loud cheering filled the Crystal Palace. After the World's Fair, the Otis elevator business took off. People liked going up. The higher, the better. Hold that elevator. Sky high. In 1857, Elisha Otis installed his first successful passenger elevator in the E.V. Hotwell building, a 5-story department store at the corner of Broome Street and Broadway in New York City. Otis's original elevator still works today, taking people up and down. Elijah Otis died in 1861. His oldest son, Charles, was also an inventor who worked on elevator improvements. He and his brother Norton took over the business when their father died. They changed the name to Otis Brothers and Company. Before Elijah's safety brake, buildings were never higher than 6 stories. No one wanted to live or work on the higher floors because you had to walk up all those stairs. Elijah's invention made it possible to build skyscrapers. Today, the higher the floor, the better the view. The price is higher too. Well, I hope you enjoyed the story of Mr. Otis and his elevators. Thank you for listening. Bye.